Act of the Apostles, chapter 6, from verse 1. And in those days, when the number of the disciples was multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews, because their widows were neglected in the daily ministration. Now, the Grecians and the Hebrews, you know, both of them were disciples, but because some things were not clear to the Grecians, they decided to murmur. So in those days, there are certain laws that were made. For example, if a widow has a child and then that child is matured, whether a child or children, are you there? And that child is matured, it is expected that the child of that widow takes care of the widow. Are you getting what I'm saying? Maybe this is one of the laws that the Hebrews were looking at. Maybe they felt, oh, this Grecians widow, they had children, so according to the law, their children should take care of them. Maybe that's the law that we're looking at, because that was actually part of the laws in the Old Testament. Are you there? Maybe that was why the Hebrews were not really, they were not acting fast. But for whatever reason, the Grecians were not happy. They felt like they were being cheated. Are you there? Yesterday I told you that both the Grecians and the Hebrews, the two of them are actually, they are Jews. They are two different types of Jews. The Grecians are the Jews that speaks Greek, while the Hebrews are the Jews that speaks Aramaic. You understand? So both of them are Jews, only that their cultures are not exactly the same. So the Grecians, they felt that they just felt, oh, it's like our widows are being cheated. Now, if you look at the bone of contention here, the Grecians who were fighting, they were not fighting for themselves. So it's not like they were saying, oh, what they are doing to me is bad. No. These people who were murmuring here, they were not widows. They just felt that no, these people, these our widows, they are not treating them well. We just feel they are not giving them enough. So from that murmuring, you can see some level of selflessness, because those people murmuring now, they are not widows, but they just murmur because they wanted the best for their widows. Are you there? So what do we say to that? Now you see, that's a picture of selflessness. It's good to be selfless. Are you there? But it is bad to murmur. So sometimes in your attempt to help others, are you there? You may begin to, do some things that that are unscriptural. Are you there? Just because you want to help others. So it will mean that even as we make decisions to help others, wisdom is still profitable for direction. You want to help others, then you now decide to murmur. Are you there so that you can be noticed? Are you there so that you can be noticeable or noticed? Are you there? Helping others is not bad, but you see that murmuring that you have decided to use as your weapon is bad. So it's not enough. Oh, I have a good intention. It's not enough. My motives are right. It's not enough. Your presentation is also very important. These people were trying to fight for their widows. That's the right thing to do. And either they felt their widows are being cheated, so they just want to speak on their behalf so that at least they can treat the widows well. That's a very good one. But they chose to do it by murmuring, which is very bad. Are you there? So, how you do what you want to do is very important. Because even when your intentions are right, either if your method is wrong, you will still be wrong. I told you, I think I said this, a long time ago. I shared the story of a particular man who saw the president and ran towards him to hug him out of excitement. And before he even, you know, got close to the president to grab him and just hug him out of excitement, he was arrested. Are you there? And what led to that? This man, somehow just suddenly came close to the president and he just discovered, oh, this is my secondary school mate. We are friends in secondary school. So that excitement, are you there? Just that excitement overwhelmed him. So he ran and then the guards surrounding the president, they just bundled him and he was thrown into the prison. It was why they were investigating that he now opened up to them that, no, I'm not a criminal. The president is my secondary school mate, so I'm just too joyful, seeing him close. I just wanted to greet him. Are you there? So his intentions were right. He means no harm, but the approach was wrong. And because the approach was wrong, are you there? He was treated like a criminal. Are you getting what I'm saying? So let's let's carefully check our approach to things. How are you doing what you are doing? I know you have something to say, but how you say what you want to say is very important. There's a difference between I'm sorry and this and then I'm sorry. Oh, it's not the same thing. You're actually saying the same statement, you're making the same statement, but you see your intonation will now make it mean different things. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, it's not the same. It's not the same. You may be saying the same thing and yet you will give it different meaning because of your approach. So these people were trying to be selfless. Oh, our widows. They were not even widows. They were not widows, but they just felt concerned for their widows. It's like the Hebrew widows are enjoying more than our own widows here. I just feel the Grecian widows, they are not really enjoying as they should. So let's raise an alarm. But they did it in the wrong way. Instead of meeting with the people and then talking things out, they began to murmur. Murmuring means that they began to react. They began to react, negatively. To murmur there speaks of a reaction. It means a reaction that goes beyond even words. So maybe that when the Bible study time is 9, maybe for example, maybe okay, let's say maybe 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Are you there? And then because they were not satisfied, they felt like their own widows were being cheated. They will now come, and the Bible study is 4 to 7. They will now they will now be coming by 6. And this was not the way they were approaching the Bible study before. They know it's 4 to 7, but they will be coming by 6. They know that after the Bible study, the disciples are supposed to have a meeting. They know for every Bible study, they wait and meet. Once they are done by 7, they pack their things and go home. So those strange reactions was what the Bible is describing as murmuring. Some of us think murmuring is just about saying something, mama, mama. No, there's a higher way to view it. Anytime you start acting strange, you are murmuring. So you can murmur through your words and you can murmur through your actions. Are you there? That's it. So they will just come to fellowship and they will come late deliberately and they will leave immediately after the fellowship closes. And then the other Hebrews were wondering, what's happening to our beloved people? They are not always like this. They came late. Okay, maybe something happened. Let's see what happens again the next Bible study. They will repeat the same thing again. 4 to 7, they will come by 6. And there's meeting 7 to 7:30 for all disciples. Exactly 7 on dot. They pack their bags and they go. So instead of them to come and say, okay, this is what is happening, we observe that our widows are not being treated well. Well, we may not be right, but please, can you just, you know, explain some things to us so that at least we can clear our doubts? Very simple. But no, they began to react, react, react. Are you getting what I'm saying? I hope you are now seeing the picture of what was happening in verse 1 now. So as a minister of God, if you come to a place and you see that the people are hungry, even if what you are told to do is just to preach, if you get there and you discover that everybody is hungry, but they are seated, they have to listen to you, but you know they are hungry. You have discerned it. Don't just get there and say, open your Bible to know. Are you there? Try to help them. Are you there? You can buy something, let everybody share it. Are you there? Let them eat first. Then you give them, then you share fellowship with them. Sometimes the people need to eat they need to eat physical bread. Yes, before they take spiritual bread. Sometimes the physical bread is the foundation for the spiritual bread. Because I don't think uh, your preaching will really make sense to a man that is hungry. Yes, you know, the Yorubas, they have an adage. They used to say that you cannot be hungry and still do other things. Are you there? So you can't be hungry and then there are still other things. No, you have to first settle the hunger. Are you getting what I'm saying? So any hunger will not allow any other to come in. And that's true. Are you getting what I'm saying? So we have to be discerning. Let us understand that ministration is not just about sharing the word, preaching the gospel. We also need to meet with the needs of others as the Lord helps us. Are you there? We also have to help others based on how much help we have received of the Lord. Sometimes it can be as simple as just let everybody take water. Just buy water for everybody. It can be as simple as that. Are you getting what I'm saying? All right, let's take note of this. So the major reason for the murmuring was just assumptions. Assumptions. They just assume that, oh, the Hebrews are cheating us. And instead of them to go to the Hebrews and talk things out, they just decided to start acting strange. There are people that does that too. Are you there? And that is, that's not maturity. Yes. Though these people were disciples, but they acted like a baby. So that you are a disciple does not mean you are now mature spiritually. Being a disciple only means that now you have decided to follow Jesus. So being a disciple is actually the starting point of your journey with God. Because you have to be fed with milk for some time. And when you are used to milk, then the food will change again to meat according to the scriptures. And you get what I'm saying? So these particular disciples, they have shown to us that they are still feeding on milk. They are still babies. You understand? Although they are disciples, they are now following God, but they are still at the elementary stage. Because the one that has grown will not assume. Yes. You will, but it is growth that will teach you not to assume. with the way he's looking at me now, it will mean that this. No. I remember those days, we do a lot of assumptions, and we think we are doing the right thing. For example, money got lost, and then the next thing is, who entered into this place last? They say, our brother, so, yeah, he must have taken the money. That's wrong. You don't assume. Don't conclude in assumption. It is very dangerous to, many people, they love to conclude in assumption. It's very wrong. It is very wrong to conclude in assumption. If you are going to reach a conclusion, make sure you have an evidence. I mean, a tangible evidence. If all you have is just suspicion, you are just suspecting, you are not sure, please don't conclude. Because at the end of the day, you may end up apologizing. You may end up, saying you are sorry, I'm sorry for this. So, in order to prevent that, are you there? Don't conclude in assumption. Now, is it wrong to assume? No, it's not wrong to assume. But you see, at the level of assumption, don't say anything. Don't tell anybody anything. Because if you speak out of assumption, people listening to you may not take it as an assumption. They may feel that you are sure of what you're saying, and they begin to move with that. So it's not wrong to assume, but that your assumption, limit it to you alone. Don't share it with others, so that you not spread something evil. Are you there? Then you can start with assumption, but don't work with it. Don't stop with it. Assumption is supposed to act as a fuel to bring you into assurance. Oh, money got lost. This is the last person that came in. Okay, that's assumption. Assumption will tell you that is likely to be the one. So at the point of assumption, don't share whatever conclusion you are making in your mind. Don't share with others. Otherwise, you mislead them. Okay, this person came in last. Could it be that he stole the money? That's what you are thinking. That's assumption level. Don't share it. Don't share anything at the level of assumption. So you now say, okay, could it be that he stole the money? All right, let me investigate. So you now conduct your investigation. When you are now sure, then you can share. Don't share what you are not sure of. Don't share when you are not sure. Wait to be sure before you share. Are we together? Wait to be sure before you share. Don't share anything you are not sure of with others. Don't share any information you are not sure of with others. You will be misleading them. Are you getting what I'm saying? So there was a reaction that they put up. There was this reaction that they put up that you know that was really strange. So what the Bible called murmuring there is more of action than just words. Yes, it's more of actions than just words. So they put up a strange action. Things they were not doing before, they began to do it. Suddenly their interest for service dropped. Are you there? You see, instead of acting strange, you need to ask questions. Are you there? Maybe you perceive something about someone. Don't just stay away and then you are assuming. No, ask questions. Are you there? Your doubt needs to be cleared. Ask questions. But unfortunately, the Grecians did not ask questions. They just chose to murmur. Are you getting what I'm saying? Because they felt that is the right thing to do. Please take note of this. Murmuring is never right. Yes. There's no time that murmuring is right. Are you getting what I'm saying? There's no time. Murmuring is always wrong. Are you there? Please take note of that. All right. There arose a murmuring from the Grecians against the Jews because their widows were neglected in the daily ministration. So this was their conclusion. This was what they concluded in their heart. They just felt that, in this daily ministration, our widows are being neglected. Now, what is daily ministration? Daily ministration. You see, the daily ministration that was mentioned there was not referring to teaching. It was not Bible study, teaching, and preaching. No. Daily ministration, as used there, is pointing to the things that they share to the less privileged on daily basis. Because in the early church, they share things every day. Because there were widows among them, those who are old, who can no longer work, and they have to feed them. Are you there? There were the poor people among them. The poor was also there. These people will also be fed on daily basis. So it is that daily feeding that was referred to as daily ministration. For some, they give them raw food, they go home and cook. For some, they give them cooked food. So those things they give on daily basis was what the Bible referred to as daily ministration. And it's not just about food. It can be clothes, it can be money, it can be other material things. But you see, those gifts they give out on daily basis was the daily ministration. So the question is, why did they call it daily ministration? Why did they use the word ministration? Well, anything you do by the Spirit is a ministration to God. Are you there? So anything you do by the Spirit is a ministration to God. So you don't need to wait for anybody to call you a minister before you begin to see that you are ministering to God. Whatever you do, as led by the Spirit, whatever you do under the supervision of the Spirit is a ministration to God. So we minister to God by obeying the instructions of the Spirit. For, every obedience to the Spirit is a ministration to God. For example, if I obey God 5 times today, it means I've ministered to God 5 times. So ministration to God is tied to our submission to His Spirit. Are you there? Some people are talking, just talking to you, just talking. And then the Spirit wants you to keep quiet. And you kept quiet all through. They said a lot of things, but you were not saying anything. That thing you have done is a ministration to God. Are you getting what I'm saying? So take note of that. Anything you do as led by the Spirit is a ministration to God. So the daily ministration here are those things that they share on daily basis. Remember that people come and drop things at the feet of the apostles. Yes. So part of those things they are used, on daily basis to feed the poor, to feed the widows and others. Are you there? Please take note of that. So fellowship is not just about sharing the word. It's not about sharing the word. That's not it. That's the major thing anyway. But you see, it also involves sharing things too. There are some ministers that they don't believe it's their duty to give you anything, even when they have. They don't just believe that they have that responsibility to help anybody. They believe all they owe you is just to come and say, open your Bible too. So even when you are dying, they don't care. They just teach you. Are you there? I've shared this. I think I've shared this many times, but let me share again because it actually aligns with the teaching this morning. Some years ago, are you there? Then I was working as a missionary, you know, and then I used to do some teachings on Facebook, like a series. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it was on relationship. And then the Lord really inspired me that time. The inspiration was so much. In a day, I can write like 20, 30 things on relationship. 10, 5. But I don't post everything online for what I post online concerning relationship in one day can just be maybe 3. So it is calculated. So meanwhile, I'd gone deep in this relationship teaching, gone deep. I think I've even gotten to 700 and something. That's to tell you how much inspiration the Lord was giving me concerning relationship at that time. I think I was in 700 and something. So in that particular series that day, I was now talking about sex. Are you there? So I was trying to say some things about sex just to, help the people understand what they are doing. Because if you don't know, if you think it's just fun, you fall. Are you get what I'm saying? So this particular day while I was hammering on sex, there was this leader who saw what I was doing. He saw the teaching, and then he just felt within himself. He just assumed. Now, this is the problem of assumption. He just assumed that this boy is not even in a relationship. How can he be saying these deep things about sex like this? He must have been doing it in the secret. That means our sisters in this ministry, they are not saved. You know those kind of things. Meanwhile, me, I was just somewhere. I don't know that fire is. I don't know somebody is kindling fire somewhere. This young boy, how can he know all these things? He must have been doing something in the secret. Guess what? Hmm. That thing brought me into a big problem, a serious one at that. So what the man did was to openly go against the write-up. And then when he did that, well, I was not discouraged. I was still posting because I knew I was led. I knew I was inspired by the Lord. For me, I felt, well, I may not be in a relationship at that time, but I know that what I'm typing, what I'm writing is what I'm inspired to do. So he kept on, countering what I was doing, but I still continued because of my conviction. This is an elderly man, this is a married man. And then his position in the ministry at that time is a high position. Not the highest though, but his position is a trustworthy position. So whatever he says, you are likely to believe. Yes. Whatever he says, you are likely to believe without further investigation. Let me quickly say this before I continue with that story. You see, it's always good to be sure. Even when the person speaking to you is a so-called man of God or a so-called minister, be sure. Somebody comes to you and say, do you know that sister? She's a bad person. I say, okay, a bad person? Thank you for telling me. And you too, the next thing is you're now separating yourself. You don't even take any step you're not making any attempt to be sure. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. You don't talk bad of people. Now, one thing to notice this, anytime you talk bad of people, you're actually revealing how bad you are. That's the truth. Bad people, are you there? Bad people talk bad of others. That's the best they can do because they are bad people. They themselves are bad, so they can't see good in others. So when you see people who are always talking down on people, this person is bad, this is this, you know that thing they are doing is a reflection of who they are. Are you get what I'm saying? That thing they are doing is a reflection of who they are. So now let me go back to my story. So this man just assumed that no, for me to be doing those kind of teaching, I must have, I must be doing some nasty things in the secret. So after the online attack, that seems not to be enough. Then he did the physical one. So I think he told some elders in the ministry about what I was doing. And then I think he was actually speaking to them by assumption, anyways. And the elders called me. It was a serious case. They called me. Anyway, some things has actually must have led to that. So he may just probably be using that write up as a cover up, because one of the issues I know I have was the fact that, due to the position I was taking at that time, they felt that, serving people, packing people's plates, and then those things I used to do, those dirty jobs, so to say, I used to do in meetings. Because me, I love to stay in the kitchen. You serve the people, I will serve them, pack their plate, go and wash it. So this my leader was not comfortable. He felt like, no, 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 this is your new position now. You're not supposed to be doing something like this. You just sit in one place, and then, for me, it's not. I'm not used to that. So I guess that was part of my offense. So this one now is the best thing he can use to just, you know, to just put me in trouble. So the elders called me, and then I explained myself. But that write-up was the major problem I had. I explained myself, well, I'm inspired to do this and things like that. Guess what? I was sacked. This thing led to being sacked. I was sacked. And then they sent messages to different places that the people should be, they should be, careful around me. And then they made it look like I really fornicated. That was the picture they were painting. Like they caught me with a sister and then things like that. Are you getting what I'm saying? Now, all these things was based on assumption. Are you getting what I'm saying? See, there are people that we have thrown out of the church. We have thrown out of our fellowships today because we are assuming. We are assuming. Are you there? Assumption itself is not bad, but it becomes a weapon of destruction when we don't take further steps of investigation. That's it. See, as I am, there's nothing you can tell me about someone that I will believe. I will appreciate you and love you, but I won't just jump into conclusion like that. I will not just move because you will say, "Oh, this sister is a bad person, this brother." No, I will appreciate you, but I will make my own investigation. It is when it is when I'm sure, then that's when I will now take steps. Are you getting what I'm saying? So let's go back to verse 1 and let's read from the beginning. And in those days, when the number of the disciples was multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews, because their widows were neglected in the daily ministration. Now, I think we can move to verse 2, right? Okay, please, once again, before we move to verse 2, don't forget, assumption is dangerous. Please, maybe you are listening to me now, and then you are already assuming some things. It's not bad, it's not a sin to assume. Are you there? But it is necessary for you to investigate. See, assumption is supposed to give you something to investigate on, not something to just believe. You don't believe at the point of assumption. I think the emphasis of the Lord for this morning's teaching is on assumption. So I'll just build around it. We'll go to verse 2 tomorrow. Are you there? You see, you don't build on assumption. You work with assumption to reach assurance. Are you getting what I'm saying? You work with assumption to become sure. Because assumption itself is not tangible. So you use assumption to get something tangible. You see, assumption is not an evidence, but assumption can produce an evidence if you work on it, if you work effectively with it. So many people, they 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 misbehave because they are making assumption their evidence. How do you know he stole the money? Well, he was the last person to leave the house. No, that's not an evidence. Of course, at the end of the day, you may now discover that he actually stole the money, but Don't work with assumption. Use assumption to get evidence. Are you there? Then it is now evidence that now brings assurance. You are now sure. It is evidence that makes you sure, not assumption. Assumption, the highest assumption can do is to make you suspect. Yes, is to make you suspect others. But you see, it is evidence that brings assurance. Assumption brings suspicion. Evidence brings assurance. Assumption brings suspicion. Evidence brings assurance. Please never forget this. Are you get what I'm saying? It's very important. So if you assume you are not doing anything bad, but work without your assumption and get an evidence. Are you there? So it is those evidence you now get. It is when you build, it is when you get evidence, that's when you can now begin to build your, your assurance. Because now it's beyond, I think, now you are now being sure of what is happening. Are you get what I'm saying? Now you are being sure of what is happening. You see, salvation is not built on assumptions. Some people are so used to assumption that they are even assuming they are saved. I believe I'm saved though. How? I used to come to church. I'm an ESCO. My parents are ministers. That's an assumption. Salvation is not built on assumption. Salvation is built on assurance. Yes. So if the reason you feel you are a Christian is based on assumption, you have to repent today and then build your foundation on something tangible. Are you getting what I'm saying? So assurance is what is needed. But you will need, in most cases, you will need assumption to come into assurance. Yes. Because the first thing, in most cases, the first thing life will give you, the first thing life will give you is assumption. You are the one to, because assumption is the raw material for assurance in most cases. Assumption is the raw material for evidence. So when you now work with that raw material and you refine it, it becomes an evidence. At that point, it's no longer guessing. Now you are already seeing some things by yourself. Are you there? Now look at this. Thank you, Father. There is something the devil is doing in this generation that I want to point your attention to. Are you there? You have to just be sure that you are not assuming anything. Because if you are assuming, if you are used to assumption, you will miss a lot of blessings from the Lord. Yes. There are a lot of ministers. There are certain ministers that this world has painted black. I'm going to tell you some things today, and then some of you will you may be surprised. Now, let me share something with you. You see, for me personally, there's no time I look back, I try to check my story, that I will not bless God. Yes, I will just say one thing to say thank you, Jesus, about. Are you there? One thing the Lord taught me early enough is, not to look down on people. The Lord opened my eyes to see that I can actually learn from everybody. There is always a lesson to learn from everybody. Even if the person is a sinner, there's still something to learn. Even if the person is a native doctor, you can still learn. At least you know what not to do. Are you there? So both the good and the bad can teach you if you are discerning. When you meet the bad, you know what not to do. When you meet the good, you know what to do. So that mentality has helped me a lot. So some of these ministers that the world will come and paint black, this is fake, false. Some of them, as a young boy, I listened to them.
but I listen to them with discernment. Of course, though, while listening, I may see some of the things they are doing that is strange, but I look away from those strange acts. Then I focus on the lessons. Are you there? I so much learned that as a young boy. So this orientation that God gave me helped me a lot. I learned from so many people, including Muslims. Sincerely, you know, I remember one time, I think one of the afars or the imams was preaching, was doing their preaching on the radio. I sat and I listened. Guess what? I learned something. Until now, as I speak to you, I've never forgotten that statement I got from him. I did not forget. Because me, when it comes to knowledge, I don't do segregation. No, don't, because I'm sure that by the grace of God, I can discern. So it's not everything you are saying that I will swallow, but I'm sure that at least, even if it's a sentence, I will pick from what you're saying. I listened to that Muslim man, and I got a sentence. Until now, that thing I learned from him has really helped me. Are you there? Some of the ministers that this world they are painting them as controversial. Are you there? And then, if the Lord permits me, I'm going to mention their names, and I will tell you how that I have learned from them. Yes. You see, you don't let this world, don't let this world kill you with their suspicion. Are you there? This world, they will kill you with assumption. They will come and project one man of God and tell you he's satanic. If he may be, but at the same time, there may be a sentence that is not. Now, look at, even if a man is fake, are you there? It's not everything that he will be saying at all times that will be wrong. Are you there? There are sometimes that he will say some things that are fact, some statements that can help you. I'm not saying you should be following false ministers, but I'm just saying that. Are you there? I'm saying that God can teach you from any source. That's what I'm saying. Are you there? God can teach you from any source. Let me share some experience with you. I believe it's going to bless you. When I was growing up, the figure of controversy that I saw then was Prophet T.B. Joshua. People say he's fake, he's this. All right. Then, because God has told me that, son, you can learn from anything, but you have to be discerning, what to pick and what not to pick. I listened to him for some time, for a very short time. During those controversial, I listened to him. And guess what? I learned something that today I will never forget. It was from his mouth that I heard, let love lead. Until now, I cannot forget that thing. I heard him say it. I listened to one of his teachings where he made that statement, let love lead. And I cannot forget it now. You get what I'm saying? Just imagine I've just shut him down because the media are painting him black. I would not have learned that. As simple as that statement is, it has really helped me. You see, sometimes, the problem that you have in your life, the solution to that big problem is just one sentence. Sincerely. The solution, I'm saying the solution to that your big problem is one sentence. There are many ministers too that were painted black. What of Pastor Chris Oketi? They painted him. They say a lot of things. Look at the way he's doing his hair, a minister for that matter. I learned from him. What of Abel Damina? He is one false minister. He is bad. He is this. I learned from him, and that's then when I listen to him, I see that this man has read a lot of things. Are you there? And when I saw the way he speaks, I need this one I've read. So, that listening to him that time, one thing I learned from him was, listening to him helped me to go and study. I said, okay, let me go and check if these things are true. And you get what I'm saying? So you may not follow everybody. Are you getting what I'm saying? But I'm saying that there's nobody you cannot learn from. That's what I'm trying to say. Even if the world is painting them evil, provided you can discern, are you there? You can learn from anyway. That's what I'm saying. So most of these controversial preachers that the world is painting, are you there? I listen to them. I have listened to them at a particular point in my life, and I can assure you, I picked lessons from them. Are you getting what I'm saying? So don't move by the world. Of course, there are some people that you know that this is a no-go area. There are some people you listen to and you see some things they are doing, you know, no, this is wrong. Are you there? But I'm just saying that they are doing something wrong does not mean at least they don't have a sentence that can bless you. That's what I'm saying. Are you getting what I'm saying?